Hey guys, Scott here from the Mental Metal channel and mentalmetaldetecting.com, and today we're going to talk about accessories for your metal detecting experiences, whether you're doing land, sea, river, relic hunting, coin shooting, you name it, Civil War hunting. We're going to go through all these things and more in this video, so stick around. We're just getting started. Hey guys, so one of my patrons asked me the other day if I would do a video on all the metal detecting accessories I have and what I use in what conditions. So I thought, I kind of did one of these a long time ago, but I've acquired a lot more gear since then. So I thought it'd be a good time to maybe go over some of this stuff again and kind of show you guys what I have. And believe me, these are things I own. There's a ton of other stuff out there you can purchase or find or use for your own liking or choosing. This is just what I have picked over the years, and I'm kind of in the mode now where I'm like, I don't need to spend a lot more money on things just because everything I have now is what I found to work for me. And it may not work for you, and if there's something here you like, you want to know more about it, shoot me a comment, let me know what you think and what your question is, and I'll try to answer it for you. I'll try to put links to some of this stuff in the description for you as well, so if there is something you're interested in, maybe you can find on Amazon or Calico or somewhere that sells metal detecting gear, maybe you can pick this stuff up yourself. Alright guys, here is all the stuff I use when I water detect, and we'll go through each and every one of these real quick. Starting out with a pair of good gloves. I like the ones that have the coating on the outside, especially these ones in the summer, because you won't get cut with glass if you have those. But these I like to use in fall time when it gets a little chillier. Keeps your hands a little bit warmer, but they still get wet. But they have a little felt lining in the middle there. I always take insect repellent and sunscreen because the sun and me don't get along. I have fair skin, already had major sun damage, so I try to avoid as much as I can. I always have a pair of knee pads, because if you don't, you're going to fall and you're going to bang up your knees, and trust me, I've fallen many times and those things have saved my kneecaps. The last thing you want to do is fall down and break a knee or something, so get some good kneecaps. One of the things I can't swear by enough is these waterproof pinpointers. Now, most of them today are all waterproof, but I have used a lot of the Garrett ATs before. I like them. They work really well. The problem is for me, they don't last very long. I get one every year or two because they just kind of die out on me. And what I've switched over to is the XP MI6 pinpointer. I really like this. I got this for my Deus, XP Deus, years ago. I think going on 4 years now. The same one. I've never had an issue with it. I like the MI6. It pairs up with my Deus headphones, but for the water detecting, I don't use the Deus. So I went ahead and bought a backup at the MI4 because it's basically the MI6. It just doesn't have the pairing option in it. These are really hardy pinpointers. I like them a lot. Recommend them to anybody out there who does water detecting. I also have a tether I take with me that I use to tether my machine to my body or my bag, my detecting bag, which I guess we'll go over here now. Sorry about all the tangled up mess here. So I have a bag. I use the Garrett. One of the bags I use is the Garrett bags that you can get at all these, like, they give away practically anymore, but I have several of them I've gotten over different hunts and contests and things like that. So I put holes in the bottom of the bag, and because I do that because it fills up with water if you don't, and all your good stuff's going to fall out if you don't have it secured anywhere. So keep that in mind if you're wading around the water and the water's deep enough to go over your waist. It's going to fill up your pouch, so you're going to want to have the water drain while you're moving around. So that's a great idea to do to your bag. So just heat up at the end of a screwdriver with a lighter or something, just poke a hole in your bag. Really simple. I always take a pocket knife with me because I like having something that has a thin blade that I can pry out coins and stuff in the bedrock or targets in the bedrock. I always carry a trowel with me. I got this one on years ago, back in the 90s, from Calico. It's called a gator. I don't know if they make them anymore, but I've never had this thing break. They said it's basically break proof, and they're right. I've had it ever since. Never had ever given me any issues. I like to pry up rocks and stuff with this thing when I need to. I always take a waterproof bag along. If I have a backpack, I put the waterproof bag and all my, like my phone and my wallet in this, and wrap it up and seal it and put it in my backpack if I'm carrying one. I always take this on my boat as well, my kayak, because it really comes in handy if water fills up your kayak pretty quick like mine did last year. That was my saving grace. Let's see what else. Pair of boots. Now, I like a good hardy pair of boots, but I learned this trick from my buddy Berg Dog over in the Berg Dog channel, Chris. If you staple the bottom of your boots, it's very, very cheap, and it's a very effective way of getting more traction. And when the staples kind of fall out or wear away, you just staple more, staple new ones on there. And that's worked out really well for me in my boots for the water. The boots I have are from Cabela's. I just had them laying around. I usually buy a cheap pair from like Walmart or something to get 1 year out of them. But I've used these for 2 years now, so they're still holding up well. Let's see what else. The machines. All right, yeah, the machines. Let's talk about the machines. So I've been trying to use the Minelab Equinox, this machine right here, in the water this year, and I've used it quite well. It does well. It does well in the water. Easy enough for me to say. It will find lead and all those other things, coins, as good as anything, really. I mean, it's really made for that. The only difference that I don't like about it compared to my AT Pro is AT Pro is a winner all day long on the iron. It's hard to understand how big an iron target is compared to the AT Pro or the AT Max. And so for that reason, when I'm hunting for Civil War relics and I want to look through the iron, I'm looking for big iron with your cannonballs or your shells. Now, I've never found one yet, so I really can't vouch for this, but I do like, and a lot of other folks like my friend Keith will tell me, it's just, you know, the AT series machines have better distinction on the iron. You can tell, you know, what's a big piece of iron versus a small little piece of iron. So for that reason, when I'm Civil War relic hunting in the water, I do take along the AT Pro more than I do the Equinox. Now, for the Equinox and the AT Pro, you're going to need a set of waterproof headphones. These are for my AT Pro. They're blue. For the Equinox, they're yellow. They're basically the same type of headphone. They're waterproof, and you're going to need those, especially if you go in over your head. You don't want to wear anything that you might slip down and fall underneath the water and get your headphones wet. If you do, you're going to want to have those waterproof ones. I also take picks with me. I have two types of picks. When I'm wading around, without a boat or anything, I like to take this one. It's a little bit lighter, not as big of a footprint to carry along. This one's a little bit bigger. This is a pick I got from, I forget where I got this from. A guy out in Arizona. I don't know if he makes them anymore or not, but I saw this on YouTube. Aqua Chigger uses these. My buddy Keith uses these. Chris Bird Dog uses these. And so I will vouch that these are very, very good to use. You can mount them different ways. I have it onto a thick piece of PVC, electric, grade type of PVC pipe, with some JB Well bond around it, and it's pretty strong. It's sturdy. I wanted it a little lighter than a thick piece of wood. You can move a lot of material with this thing. You sure can. And I like having that in my boat when I need it. Speaking of boat, I also have a magnet, or I should say on this one, there's a magnet on the end of it. It's not very strong, but it works. They could have did a better job of putting a magnet. I don't know why they put it on the head of the pick. Most people put it on the bottom, which they didn't. They didn't do that when they made that pick. I used to have a magnet on my big pick here too, as well on the end, but I took it off because I caught myself in the car one time or walking by my truck, and it snagged on my truck and pinched my hand. Hurt like heck. So I since just kind of, if I need a magnet, I'll take this one with me, and especially my boat, and if I need it, I'll use it that way. It's a pretty big magnet. I think it has a 500-pound pulling force or something. Not exactly sure anymore. But if you're looking for a magnet, you can go out to muscularmagnetics.com. I have a discount code over there. If you use the code MM314, you'll get, I think, 12% discount off of your purchase. So check those guys out. I'll put a link in the description. So let's see, what else can I go over for water detecting? I think I covered everything. Oh, we didn't cover the coil. So if I'm using a Minelab in the water, right now I got the big 15-inch coil on there. I definitely would not use that in the water. I would use the Coil Tech 10x5. That coil is amazing. I love that coil a lot. They're just hard to get. So if you're looking for this coil, I'll put some links in the description where you can find them, or at least where you can check to see if they have them. I know Calico keeps them on stock. More than most people have them in stock. Basically, I think they're just a bigger store or bigger, company, and they get more of them in. I don't know, but they're hard to get, but they're perfect for the water. Just like the AT Pro, I have the 5x8 on it, and I don't use the stock 11 in the water because this little coil does exactly what you need it to do. I also carry with me, or try to wear, or have with me, a wetsuit in case I need one. Sometimes when it's really warm, you don't need them, but I also like wearing them when you're in shallow water or deep water that's stagnant, not moving much. You can get a good chance getting leeches on you and stuff, and I don't want any of that stuff. So I'll wear a wetsuit if I need to. Okay, and if you're in the water in your bay here in Maryland, you run into some jellyfish, and believe me, they don't feel very good when you get stung by those. All right, so that's it for water detecting and all the accessories that I use or can use or have used and still do right now today. If you have any questions, drop me a comment. I will continue on now with something else, probably my Civil War stuff. All right, guys, here is all of the stuff I take with me, or most of the stuff, some of the stuff. Not everything is I take with me all the time, but this is for my Civil War hunting, when I go Civil War hunting for bullets, or just when I'm on one of my DIV trips. These are the things I typically take. Let's just start here with shovels. I have two types of shovels I like to take. I use this one, this red one, more than I use anything else. I can get through the dirt quick. Gets down easy between rocks. It just doesn't move as much material as something like this would move. So when I'm in Virginia, I use this blue shovel more than I use the red one, just because of the time I need to move some dirt, and it's usually not too rocky, so it's not too bad. All right, moving on up, we'll just go over the gloves. Same thing as before, gloves. I do take all this stuff with me as well, even some sunscreen in the fall. Sometimes it gets warm. I don't want to get burned, and usually in the springtime also, when it gets hot, in one of these events, I'll take sunscreen as well. I do keep my knee pads handy with me when I'm on those hunts as well. It just saves your knees, and people will make fun of you for them sometimes, but I wear them. I don't care what people think. You see, it just saves your kneecaps. I went over the pinpointers already, so I'm not going to really touch on those, but they work really good for Civil War relic hunting as well. I don't take a knife. I don't know why I have that in here. I do take a little trowel. I can't find my little Lesche digging trowel that I take with me. That's better than this one for digging in Virginia, just because if you get in a hut or something like that, you're gonna want something with a very pointed end, and the Lesche digging trowel is very pointed, and it just comes in handy. So I have one of those. I also have a bag like this I take, but a lot of times now I'm taking bags like this because I'm out so long during the day. I want something I can put my relics in. I have a bag like this I bought off of Amazon. I could put food in here, could put some water in here, and my pinpointer goes in here. Basically everything I need is on a backpack that's no bigger than this. It's not very big. It goes right over my shoulder. And it's just easy. I can put it in front of me, I can put it behind me. It's out of the way, and I just love that bag. That bag is awesome. I'll put a link in the description if you guys want to check that bag out. For Civil War hunting, I also like to use my Minelab Equinox. I have the 15-inch coil on there like I showed you before, but the machine of choice for the red dirt in Virginia is the Minelab GPX 4500. I don't think you can buy these anymore. I think the 5000s are the ones you need now, or the ones that you can buy now that are pricey. A couple $1,000 for this machine. I got mine a steal on eBay for $1,200. used once or twice, I think. So I made out pretty good in that machine. But that's what I take when I go Civil War hunting. Those are basically all the accessories I need. Yeah, this thing here is the battery that goes with the GPX. And so you plug that in, you have some cables. I have a set of headphones. Okay, that's our Civil War lineup for you. Hope you guys enjoy that. If you got any comments, just drop me a comment in the comments. Well, now we'll move on to like typical land hunting, relic hunting, coin shooting, and I'll show you what I use for that. All right, guys, so I'm really getting down to the basics here, but you know, same thing applies: gloves, sunscreen, bug spray, pinpointers, you know, the usual. Still wear my knee pads. I have a bag, whether it's a Garrett bag or another bag, or even that bag I put up here, get it out of the way, that I showed you last time. It just depends on what I want to take with me. So my shovel of choice, if I'm in fields, is going to be this red one. I like it in the field. I will take this one once in a while, but it's too big. My shovel of choice is actually this one. It's all dirty. I just used it yesterday. It's a little, I think, 31-inch Lesche I got years ago, but that's the one I use the most. But basics are basics here, folks. Knee pads, bag, pinpointer, obviously, a trowel, whether it be the Lesche trowel or this trowel. I definitely choose the Equinox right now over any metal detector I use, because I like that machine. Right now I have the 15-inch coil, but I typically use the 11. But I also like another machine. The machine I like to use is the XP Deus. This machine rocks. It's really good for relics. A couple of the accessories I got for is a little like my little logo thingy there with a tether on it. This box tends to fall off if you're not paying attention. Ask my friend Ted in Ohio. He lost his last year. They're not cheap to replace, folks. They're about $400 or $500, I think. If I'm using the Equinox, I'm typically using 11-inch coil. I like this coil, stock coil, more than I like the 15-inch. 15-inch is good in fields and stuff, but I mean, this 11-inch will do you just fine. And I also have the 10x5, as you guys already know, but I'll use that in junky conditions to get a little bit more separation and stuff. I'll use the 10x5. So the 11-inch and 10x5 are my go-to for relic hunting and coin shooting, hands down. But if I'm in deep iron or heavy iron, I'm going with the Deus all day long. It just does really well with heavy iron. So, and it's super light. And if I'm going anywhere long, you know, like a long trip somewhere in the woods or I'm backpacking, I'll probably take the Deus with me. The other accessory I have for the Equinox is I got a Detect Edge shaft. All right, guys, one thing I wanted to come back to was the Deus. I didn't really talk about some of the accessories I have for it. Like I showed you the tether I have here and the little thing here that hooks onto the box just so you don't lose it. But I also have two different type of headphones that I use. I have the WS4s and I used to have the WS5s, except that little man right there decided to have a mule fest on him. Shoot them up, and I need to fix them. I think I could fix them, but I still like these headsets. They're really good. They work well. The one thing I wanted to point out about the Deus is I prefer the HF coil. I know they have the X35s out. I have very little experience with the X35 to tell you whether or not it's worth buying, but I've had really great success with the HF coil. So if you're asking me, sorry, Rocky wants to get in the video. If you're asking me, I'm picking the HF coil. You are not cooperating. All right, guys, now we're going to talk about the beach hunting stuff I take with me every time I go to the beach. I only make it to the beach a couple times a year, maybe once a year sometimes. This year I haven't been there yet at all. Getting ready to go at the end of September. But I'm pretty bare bones when I go to the beach just because I don't like to take a lot of stuff with me because it's hot, and the more stuff you take with you, the hotter you're going to get and weighed down. So My machine of choice is obviously the Equinox, and this year I have the 15-inch coil, so I'll be using that for sure. I do take a pinpointer, one of my favorites. I've gone over them already. I do take a little bag, one of these bags, because you don't really need a lot. Sometimes I'll just take a little smaller bag that I have, but that's usually one of the ones I take. I sometimes will take a little shovel just in case I'm digging in sand. I need something to dig the sand out quickly. But the main tool that I use is my sand scoop. And this thing works really well. I know a lot of people use different ones. You can buy a lot of different types they have a lot of them on Calico you can look at. I bought this one from Fort Bedford Metal Detectors a bunch of years ago, and it's been working fine for me. It's a little heavy, but it's not bad. I like to have a big scoop when I put it down in the sand, so less time trying to figure out where the stuff is. So when you're hunting in the surf and you are finding something, sometimes you'll lose the target, it sinks back in the hole. So you want something that's pretty big that can give you a big scoop, and this one does it. So that's what I use, and that's what I use for the beach. If you have any questions, just put it in the comment. Hey, if you enjoyed this video and you want more information on this and other things I got going on, check out my website, mentalmetaldetecting.com, and join me over on Patreon. I have some patrons over there who are giving me great ideas on what videos to make, like this one here. So if you want to be a patron, come on over, and for a little as $1 a month you can pledge to help support the channel. That would be great. If not, you'll still see the content I'm creating here on YouTube, and I have a Facebook group called Mental Metal. I run a Facebook group called Metal Detecting Maryland, and you can join us over there as well. But yeah, thanks for watching today. Hope you got something out of the video. If you did, hit that like button, and please subscribe to the channel and share it with one of your friends. Thanks for watching. See ya.